Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Cape Rugby TV, and as I've said before, welcome to our DSTV viewers on channel 263. Nice to have you along. We're heading towards the end of the road now. Next week is Christmas, and of course many other people celebrating the festive season, so we really are starting to wrap things up now a little bit. On Friday night I went out to Strand Pioneers in the Strand to go and celebrate the awards evening there at in the Strand area. So no stranger to Cape Rugby TV, and let me introduce you to my panel this evening. Taariq van der Ross, you still haven't given us your title at Strand Pioneers. Welcome, Taariq.
Good evening, JP. Yeah, I'm chairman at the club. So yeah.
Chairman, and of course you're PR at the same time and everything else. Huh?
Yeah, public relations, chairman, player, all in all.
And Ricky Peterson, coach of the Western Province Sevens. Hello, Ricky. Welcome back.
Evening, James. Good to be here once again. Yeah.
Yeah, you're no stranger to the show now. You're comfortable, got the mic sorted.
Not at all. I'm even doing my own makeup also now.
Yeah, no, we can see that. I think we might have to get a special makeup artist in just for you. Anyway, let's start off. Let's start off with the awards. It was the awards at Strand Pioneers on Saturday, and I was out there. Nadir Isaacs was out there. Ricky was out there, and we told a lot of the fans out there on the night that they must pose their questions on Facebook. We didn't get a lot of questions in from the guys. I think they were celebrating a little bit too much on the night. They weren't focused on the fact that we were engaging on social media, and it happens very quickly. But let's start with the night. Taariq, you guys have had a great season. It's a great way to show appreciation for the players. Huh?
No, of course, we've had a great season. We left it till late. You know, mid-December for awards night is late in the season, but we purposely did it that way. We got the guests that we wanted there, and you know, we had to show appreciation to our players, and you could see we had a big turnout, and everyone enjoyed the evening.
What difference does it make doing an awards after the awards?
We got the trophy there. You know,
no, but I mean, like from a player point of view, it makes them feel special. They want to stay at the club. I mean, the guys were already kind of bonding on the night.
Yeah, that was part of the planning. I mean, our season starts in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So we got together 3 weeks before the season starts. So, you know, that was all part of our thinking. Next week we got a photo session, photo shoot with the trophy. We'll get the guys together again, and then it's just 2 weeks, and the season starts on the 6th of Jan. We're
gonna watch a little video there of the awards evening in a second. And once again, just when you see this, you'll see this. I just shot this on my cell phone. Happened to be on the night, and thought, hang on, let's just capture something. So you'll see that you can also do community-generated content. All right, community-generated content is very, very easy to do. Ricky, it was a good night.
I think it was a lovely evening. Like I told Taariq, and he touched on it earlier. The turnout was excellent, and JP, these days at club presentations, you have to go out of your way to make people or players come, and whatever Taariq did, the turnout was excellent. To see a whole pack like that with people was lovely. Yeah.
And we had Nadir Isaacs there as well from the Western Province Executive. Now, you guys got quite a close connection between Strand Pioneers and Violets.
Yeah, I started my rugby career at Violets as a 16-year-old. Our current captain, Isa, is a former Violets player as well. He's moved to the Strand recently, so he had no choice but to come play for Pioneers. But yeah, Nadir as well. Nadir was one of my heroes growing up, and you know, I'm always consulting him. They've won 4 years in 4 leagues in a row.
Yeah.
So you know, they're doing something right, and I'm trying to get that recipe from Nadir.
Strand Pioneers, for you guys, this is your first league win in history, or
since unification.
Since unification,
the club has won promotion once or twice when 2 teams were promoted.
Yeah.
But as outright league winners, the season was the first.
Now, how is it that you live in the Strand but you played for Violets?
I'm actually from Mitchells Plain.
Okay.
And then our coach at Mondale took us to Violets. That's where we started our rugby.
Yeah.
And then later I started working in the Somerset West Strand area, and that's how I ended up staying there.
And now, we were hoping to have Nadir Isaacs here tonight with us, folks. Unfortunately, tied up with work, and we couldn't get him on the show. But so that would have been our 3-man panel, all 3 guests from the awards at Strand Pioneers on Friday. Taariq, Ricky, and Nadir Isaacs, as I said, from the Western Province Executive. But Ricky, we were touching on that earlier on about the importance of the awards. You know, a lot of people think the awards sometimes is pointless because it's just a pat on the back and it's a trophy, but it's more than a plan just to reward you for what you've done. It also creates an opportunity for showing you where it can go next year.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you talk about the Helderberg region, you talk about community clubs, and that's exactly what Strand Pioneers has been all these years.
Yeah.
I can remember, I mean, some great players have came out of Strand Pioneers Rugby Club, and if I can remember that Strand Pioneers, Strand United, St. George's, Strand, I can go on and on. Those are clubs that has been so community orientated, and when they have a club presentation, it's like a huge family coming together and celebrating and looking forward to the next season in the next year, not just for the rugby, but all of them getting back together again. And like Taariq said, which is actually not a bad idea, having your presentation, and if it's well planned, 3 weeks prior to your new season starting, getting those people together to bond. I think we can take a page out of his book.
It's actually smart because sometimes the guys do the awards as quickly as the season is finished, and then you struggle to get them back.
Exactly.
Whereas now these guys are not taking a break from rugby, they're taking a break from the awards.
Definitely, and I think what he did was a brilliant idea, but also good planning, because I mean, this time of the year, you find people going on holiday or planning for Christmas and all that, but good stuff, Taariq. Great.
Okay, folks, hang on. Before we now get too sidetracked, let's show you the awards, and as I said earlier on, captured on my cell phone. But you get an idea of just how easy it is that if you're at a club, you can use your phone and get some content to us, and we can still put it on TV. Let's see what happened on the night.
Als het nou negatief, positief was, resulteert is, dat is maar hoe het leven. To two players, for if you should win that game, and as you know, if you put the carry game, then you can
It's all alright. Can't believe it, but het was een lekker seizoen. Alles erin gegaan.
So there you have it, folks. Of course, the awards at Strand Pioneers, and it was great fun, I must say. The folks out there were absolutely having a jaw. Taariq, how hard is it to put on an awards evening?
It took us about 3 weeks to put together, JP, but we've got a good committee. The guys are working hard. It's been a long season. It was, I had to pull the last out of them, but we got it right on the night.
But now a lot of people think that an awards evening must cost a lot of money. But you were smart about it. You had the church. Obviously in the community, you can go to a church and you can ask them to use the hall. Yeah,
we did that. We got a big discount on the band. I told them they'll be on DSTV, and they came running.
Right. What was the name of the band, by the way? Do you know?
The singer's Delisha Ambrose.
Delisha Ambrose, okay. All right, folks, so there you go. Delisha Ambrose. All right, now we've given her advertising for giving Strand Pioneers the discount. You can do the same. She was great, though. She was great.
Yeah. And actually, she did some singing at Edinburgh Golf Estate, and I pulled in. I said, next event, Strand Pioneers.
And then you've got some sponsors as well. You've got Spa and you've got Bart and you've got a few other sponsors supporting you guys. And you're quite active in that. You're quite active in making sure the sponsors get looked after.
Yeah, we've got Bart Motors as our head sponsor, Spa Cinnamon Square, Rematch Sport, Leading Edge 64. They do all our printing of our posters and pamphlets and that sort of thing.
What do you do for them? Like if you're talking there about, like, for example, the printing company, Leading Edge Printing Company. What do you do for them? I mean, you're the PR, and at the same time you're the chairman, but you're also the PR marketing officer. And now we've noticed that you get quite active from a club point of view. What do you do?
Basically, what we do to our sponsors, we promise them a two-way stream.
Yeah.
You support us, we support you, and that's a decision we took at the club. We support our local businesses, and eventually they come back and they start giving us as well.
Ricky, let's go to you. I mean, you've been at Helderberg, so Helderberg Strand Pioneers, and you know the whole Helderberg Basin. How's it going there for the clubs? I mean, we've got John Brits and the guys at Solarians. Gastro's got a couple of people working on sponsorships there. There's, of course, the Strand area, Macassar, and so on. But if we look at that Helderberg Basin, are people becoming more active? I mean, we saw Lyndon Julies over there. He was there on the night. Who's actively involved at St. George's now, who's very active in terms of writing, and he's trying to make a name for himself in terms of blogging and getting more into the journalist space, which helps give you guys coverage. And I know you've spoken to Helderberg Radio at times to also give coverage to the clubs in the area. How active are the clubs in moving forward in terms of sponsorship? Because this is not something we used to do, create media for clubs. It's a new thing almost for clubs.
Yeah, well, let me start off. When you started this show, this is the best thing that could happen for rugby, not just in Cape Town, but for the Helderberg region also. I mean, you must understand, JP, we have about 10, to correct me, Taariq, 10 clubs in that region, and we're so close together. And in terms of sponsorship, unfortunately, you need money to make the club work, And sponsors has come on board for all the clubs, because I think in terms of how clubs has won the leagues, whether it's Solarians or Strand Pioneers or the next year Helderberg or the year after that St. George's, they are doing well. They are doing well, and sponsors slowly but surely they're coming on board, and because I think the sponsor's name is being held high, and that's the most important thing. And teams now in the Helderberg region, they're coming together as a family. Like me and John Britt of Solarians, he would give me a call, and we would chat, and how's things going, how's preparation going for the new season, and that's good, because I mean we stand together as a region, and we try and boost one another and help one another.
Do you think, what I've noticed in the club rugby space is that clubs, if you go through the years, you'd have a club, and then you have a player who comes to play at the club, and he plays there, and eventually he stops playing, and he's a successful businessman maybe, or he's connected to a corporate, and then he comes back to the club and he says, listen, let me help you guys with transport, or let me help you with food, or let me help you with sponsorship. And you ask why? He says, well, no, I'm giving back to the club. Now, of course, it's very difficult for the club to give back. Now, that's kind of the progression of how clubs have survived within their community, giving back to the club. Whereas the club would start off by looking after the player, and now the player leaves and the player stays with the club, keeps looking after the club. But now we're in a situation that you guys writing blogs and websites and getting on radio, for example, and TV, you're able to give now back again to the person who gave back to you. It's like a whole give back, pay it forward scenario, Taariq.
Yeah, and that's it. And the guys are buying into it, which is a good thing. We've got Facebook. Everyone's on Facebook.
Yeah.
You put up an ad for free. It will cost you a couple of $1,000 to put in the local newspaper. So the guys are getting big exposure.
Yeah, and I think the Helderberg Basin itself is if it works together, can offer us a global sponsor, maybe a whole big package. I mean, if you think about it, it's a captive audience in that area that shops in the same place. They go jawling in the same place. They go to the same beach. It's very easy to sell your product into that community if you're a sponsor to come on board and maybe give like a blanket sponsorship in terms of call it a United Players Foundation or not a foundation, so to speak, but activity.
I think we're heading that way, JP. What we've started doing, all the chairmen have come together. We've had meetings. There's 5 staff working at Strand Pioneers. There's 5 staff working at St. George's. So we, give me your 5 ideas that's working. I'll give you mine that's working.
Yeah.
End of the day, you'll have 8 things that are working. And the coaches are coming together soon. And you know, in terms of that blanket sponsorship, believe me, we're working on that.
It's getting there. It's getting. I mean, that's probably Ricky. It's probably one of the reasons why your sevens tournament is getting so much exposure. I mean, I haven't. You got to just tell me that prize money again.
It's 100,000 rand prize money, JP. It's.
I just don't get this. How do you come up with a sevens tournament?
Well,
this is like the Nedbank $1 million golf. You know, like 100,000 rand. What is the George Sevens prize? I think it's $1 million.
It's $1 million.
But okay,
yes.
but the $1 million is. I mean, it's a multi-million rand event.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
how do you come up with 100,000 rand prize money?
I have to mention these two gentlemen's names. Our new chairman, Jan de Tooy, and one of our other club committee members in charge of the whole marketing aspect, Jaco Wessels. Those two gentlemen have been working around the clock to get sponsors on board for this tournament. We all know that sevens is becoming an Olympic sport. We all know that sevens is taking the world globally by storm. And I mean, we do not want to be left behind. And being part of Western Province Rugby Union, and also Helderberg, correct me, Taariq, next year will be the 10th year, the oldest running club sevens tournament in Western Province Rugby Union. So we're going to have under 13 competition, under 19 competition, and then the senior competition. 100,000 rand prize money for that competition.
100,000 rand,
which is brilliant.
So these guys, you said Jan de Tooy and
Jaco
Wessels. What did they go out? They found sponsors.
They went out. They found sponsors, and what the three of us did was I came on board in the saying to explain to them what this whole sevens tournament is all about.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're uniting teams from all over the country, inviting teams all. And the best about everything, JP, the invitation, the entry fee is free.
But now, what did they do to go? They obviously went out in the marketplace, Jan and Jaco, and what did they offer back to the sponsors for? I mean, you got TV, you got radio. I mean, what did they do?
Let me tell you, when you told me that Cape TV Rugby is going to be there, that was the best thing ever.
Was that a closure?
that is the best thing ever that happened for that tournament. Because I mean, sponsors are going to get so much mileage, and JP, DSTV. I mean, we're talking about the second highest rating sports
rugby magazine
magazine program
yeah.
In South Africa. So I mean, what more can we ask for? So I mean, sponsors are getting enough mileage. So I mean, if you don't want to come on board, you're going to be left out.
Right. Well, yeah. Okay. So, folks, I find it quite incredible that we've taken club rugby, at least amateur rugby, into the space where we've now got a tournament. In fact, there are a number of tournaments coming up. There's a Boland, Western Province Rugby, and maybe even an SVD Community Challenge happening next year. There's the Sevens League Challenge that's probably going to start before the Rugby League, and that is going to happen after the Rugby League. So there's a Sevens tournament. And then, of course, the league itself, which has got a new format. So we are chock-a-block with rugby championship tournaments that's going to be happening here in Cape Town. So it's going to be extremely exciting. And I think next week, Christmas night, we'll speak to Peter Jooster and the guys from Western Province who will be coming on the show to tell me more about these tournaments. So very exciting, and I think it's going to be very exciting for Cape Rugby TV as we follow all these tournaments, which just goes to show that if you create a tournament and you've got TV, you can get sponsorship. We'll take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at some of the videos that we caught up with at the season when we were over at Strand Pioneers when they played against Perseverance, as we sort of take a trip down memory lane. We'll be back with you in a second. Wat is jou naam?
Verandering.
En is jy 'n Strand Pioneers supporter?
Ja.
En jou naam?
Kaiden Karelse.
En wie support jy?
Pioneers.
En jy?
Maran Zulix is Pioneers.
En jy?
Aston Smith.
Kyk as die camera daarso.
Ek is United! United!
Sê maar gou.
Pioneers!
All right, folks, there you go. It's going off. We'll see you guys in a while. Look at everybody here. This is what community rugby is about. Yes. Strand Pioneers turning it on the day. Taariq has done an amazing job. And if you're up there and you think that club rugby is made on money, think again, because this is how you do it. See you guys. Yeah, so that's how you do it. That's all about the kids there. Taariq, did you recognize any of those kids?
JP, they're always at the practice, they're always at the matches. They just have fun.
So
Great having them there.
how many of those kids are family members of the parents that are watching, or they just come from the neighborhood and come and watch? Or?
They just come from the neighborhood. We don't charge them entry fee. They come in, we give them lunch, they watch rugby.
Yeah. So I mean, Ricky, I mean that makes a big difference. When you've got a situation, there's a rugby match on a Saturday. You know, people don't get this. People think rugby is all about TV and world championships and so on. But what they don't realize is that on a Saturday afternoon, from about 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, there's rugby on a Saturday. And if there was nothing happening on that sports field, can you imagine where those kids would be?
JP, I was fortunate to be part of 4 great community clubs, Strand League, back in this Belleville League, Tygerberg, obviously I finished off at Helderberg, and watching so many kids at the rugby, people finish their shopping so early so that they can attend those games.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can remember at Tygerberg, I mean, for us it was so great to run out in front of 5,000, 6,000 people at a club game,
Yeah.
you know, and when you're done, kids come around you because, I mean, you basically the heroes. At Belleville, I can remember, you know, kids like at Bola Conradi was like at after the game, like a kid on the field. I can remember quite well, and it shows you. And a couple of years after that, the guy was a Springbok. He had kids running around him.
But if not, I mean, the kids could be getting kidnapped. They could be getting into drugs. They could be getting into, you know, some drunk mom or dad who decides to not have a nice day on a Saturday because he's had a rough week. There's a lot of positive sort of social aspects to the fact that there's sport on the field, and of course a lot of the fields, the community fields, also have other sports at the same time, soccer and baseball or whatever it is. But I mean, that's really what it is about, Taariq.
Yeah, I mean, we mustn't forget our club players are those kids' heroes. You know, many of them don't even have TV. They know about Banna and Skalkberger and these guys, but our club players are the guys that they get to see every day and get to watch every week.
Of course, they wouldn't, unless they've been to Newlands or have DSTV, they would never have seen Skalkberger or never have seen Brian Banna except maybe on the back page of a newspaper.
Exactly. So, you know what I mean? So that's why it's important for our club players to be role models to these kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, they give their best. Our players lift their games once the kids are there. The kids are carrying their bag. They want to come in the dressing room when we get dressed. They want to come in the dressing room after we won the game.
Yeah.
And, you know, we allow it because, you know, we're the heroes on a Saturday.
Yeah, and it's like there's like a vibe now. They know where to go. They know what to do, what to pack. Anyway, one of the heroes at Strand Pioneers, of course, the captain of Strand Pioneers, who was also there at the awards dinner on Friday night to accept the league trophy as Strand Pioneers walked away with the Division 3 winning championship trophy. Let's catch up there now with the winning captain of Strand Pioneers. Isa, captain of Strand Pioneers, good win for you guys today. A lot of points on the board.
Yeah, a lot of hard work went into the game before the match, so we're just glad we can put it out there on the field.
Now, if you had to isolate a couple of strong points there for you guys, weak points?
Yeah, anybody who watches the game can tell that we try to give our backline good front foot ball so they can put the points on the board and we take it from there.
Now, how do you guys see performing through the rest of the season?
It's basically more of the same. You have to put in the hard yards to get the result. So there's no slacking down, just have to move forward.
Any clubs out there you think are going to be your big challenges this year?
At the moment, we're looking at Imkai, because they were also 3-3 before this game, so we'll have to see what they did today.
So you guys are keeping an eye on the opposition out there?
Yeah, we have to. And hopefully they're keeping an eye on us.
I'm sure they are. Well, listen, it's been a fantastic day here, and congratulations on your win.
Oh, thank you.
There we go. Welcome back, everybody. Anwar Joseph, of course, the coach there, who we haven't spoken about. He's been coaching now for 2 years at Strand Pioneers. What made him so successful?
He's always been there. First at the practice, last to leave. He's never missed a practice. And I think just by setting that example, the players are just falling into place.
Yeah. Ricky, in your opinion, what makes a good coach at club level?
Commitment, dedication, and passion.
But now let's break that down, because I think you and I have spoken about this on a number of occasions, that come 11 o'clock at night, we're still sitting at a club rugby function, or it's 10 o'clock at night and you're still standing in a parking lot after a practice having a talk, and the family's at home, everyone's waiting for you to get home. People don't, we use these words loosely: commitment, passion, dedication. Passion is what drives you, dedication is what really what makes up yourself. And commitment is like your desire to continue doing it forward. But that's what it means. It's late nights.
Well, let me start by saying we have some of the best coaches in Western Province Club Rugby level, or on that level. Some of the best coaches, if I can put it that way. Firstly, players and coaches, JP, on club level, these oaks work up until 5, 6, 7 at night, and then they still come to training. 2 to 3 days a week, they come to training. They're tired, but yet they still show dedication. Coming on the field, what if that team had just lost a week before? Now they have to come back out of their jobs, come to the training field. Now you sit with maybe 10, 12 players on the field. Now you need to motivate those 12 players so that 15 can come the next week, so that 20 can come the next week. That's why I take my head off for any club coach. No, it doesn't matter which division or league he's coaching at. I take my hat off for any club coach in the Western Province Rugby Union.
I'm glad you're not taking your hat off, because I was worried you were going to take your head off there. But for a club coach to be successful, you talk about commitment and dedication and passion, and that. And the practical stuff means that you're going to be late. You're going to be late nights, early up in the morning. All these kind of things. One of the secrets that I've realized is that you need to have a supporting family structure.
That was the next point I was gonna touch on. It starts at home.
Yeah.
Whether you're a player, a coach, it starts at home. If your family is 110% behind you, they support you. I mean, you explain to them what it's all about. You will get the proper supporting structure, and from there it goes to the club. A proper supporting structure. The coach needs to do what he needs to do, and the rest of the club committee supports him.
Yeah.
You'll find success.
So you need a wife or a husband that understands that you're going to be late very often.
Yeah. Or boyfriend at times.
Or boyfriend. Taariq, what is your excuse when you get phoned at 10:30 at night and the phone call is, where are you?
The answer is always at the rugby field.
Yeah.
JP. Yeah. I mentioned to you previously, running a club 7 days a week, coaching a club 7 days a week. I think we must change that to 12 months of the year, not 7 days a week. From January till December, coaches are busy. Pre-season, you got your season, after season, conditioning this time of the year. And I think if the coaches' wives are rugby people as well, it makes it easier.
Yeah, and of course a lot of family members come from a history of rugby. They know that their father used to always be late at coming home. So it makes it easier when your husband or your wife, being maybe a rugby coach, is also late. So
it is, and I mean in club rugby you'll find many couples, they met their wives at the rugby, so it's easy. They become players, administrators, coaches.
Yeah,
the wives are used to it.
There is a connection there. Yeah. Folks, we're going to take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll find out from Ricky Peterson a little bit about what he was talking about the Strand League and the Helderberg League and the Belleville League. All these kind of things happened before the other leagues. We'll be back with you in a sec. Welcome back, everybody, and as I mentioned earlier on, it is Cape Rugby TV. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, or on Twitter @Cape Rugby TV. Here's one slip. Taariq, Strand Pioneers, I don't think you guys got a Twitter handle yet, eh?
Not yet.
Right.
I'll sort that out tomorrow.
Ricky, one of the things that we're going to need from you guys is, what's the name of your Sevens tournament, by the way?
It's called the Extreme Sevens.
The Extreme Sevens. So the Extreme Sevens is going to need a Facebook fan page and is going to need a Twitter handle.
Yeah, I think Corne Strydom will handle that.
Corne Strydom, right? Corne Strydom, if you are watching us right now, we need a Twitter handle so we can give it lots of publicity. And of course we need a Facebook fan page, so we can give that some publicity as well. Talking about publicity, Evox Advanced Nutrition is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. Now, if you want to put on some bulk, especially now during the off-season, and I'm getting told by a few people that there is no more off-season, it's now a league or tournament season, and then it's straight into pre-season. But there are a couple of weeks off-season, depending how long you're going to take a break, and then pre-season is a subtle difference, which is when your activity starts to speed up a little bit. So off-season is when you're not actually on the rugby field, you're in the gym putting on the muscle mass. Last week's winner of the Evox competition, congratulations there to Desmond James. Desmond wins the Synergy Whey Protein. Now the Synergy Whey Protein was up for grabs, so congratulations there to Desmond James. Right, so you want to win for yourself this week, and this week we're going to change it a little bit, all right? This is the big mama of supplements, and you win for yourself the Shaker 600 as well. There you see the Shaker 600. This is the Evox Shaker 600, which comes in very handy, as I have demonstrated a number of times in lots of different containers. You can put all your different proteins, the vitamins and minerals in all these containers and just shake it up. It means you can take 2 or 3 meals on the road with you. Right, so it's the Shaker 600 and then the Evox 5XL bulk meal replacement. Right now, this is 5 kilograms of high protein, high carbohydrate meal replacement. Now, this is what you need if you really want to bulk up off season. Okay, you can see here it's a big bucket, it's 5 kilos. This is what the Stormers use, folks. Evox Advanced Nutrition is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. Right, so if you want to win this, just SMS your name and answer to 33280. Tell us who is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers, and tell us what their favorite product is. Okay, so if you want to win the 5XL, just go for it and tell us who is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby. That's the key word that you need to SMS to 33280. So it's a 5XL, bucket of 5XL, 5 kilos up for grabs. It's bloody heavy. That was all I can tell you. Okay, so Ricky, let's move to you now. Tell us a little bit about where did you start playing rugby?
Well, I'm just going to run through it quickly, James. Otherwise, we're going to sit here forever. Okay. And started my rugby career at Young Wesley's. And
hang on, where is Young Wesley's?
Young Wesley's, Philippi, Klipfontein.
Right, we've been there, but yep. Yeah, I'm doing this now for the
everybody knows it as the boss.
Any boss, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, some great rugby players has come from that area, and
because you went to school in that area.
No. I actually went to school. I went to school in Macassar. Eh? Yeah.
So how did you end up playing for Young Wesley's?
Well, my father was one of the founders that time of Young Wesley's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so also my uncle Victor Peterson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then.
Now you mentioned Vicky Peterson. Eh?
Yes, that's correct. Yes. Yeah. Also ex Protea player back in the days.
Right.
So I come from a family of a sportage background.
Just tell us a little bit there about Vicky Peterson.
Vicky Peterson, fullback, brilliant fullback.
Yeah.
Brilliant fullback and fly off, and also very disciplined coach.
Yeah.
I mean, Belleville asked Jerome. Jerome would say he was Jerome's coach as well.
So he played with Jerome Parvati?
No, he actually played before Jerome Parvati. Them from Wesley's, my family, Victor and some of the players, we moved over to the old Belleville League.
Yeah.
And then Belleville League became Belleville South.
Hang on, so you left Young Wesley's, and from Young Wesley's you went to
as a junior, to go to Belleville, and there I got to meet you. You talk about Belleville. This was before unification, JP. We talk about the Parvatis, your Koos, your Kenny, and Jerome, and I can continue. Go on. And I was a junior there. Quentin Davids, Bola Conradi. I mean, I was privileged to be among some of the best rugby players.
Just give us a quick rundown of the structures that we had back then, because there was federation and there was league and there was union. Just quickly explain that to us.
Yeah, it was federation, and then we had SARU and unification.
But what was the difference? I mean, we still need to get stuck into this part of the meat at Cape Rugby. But what was the difference between SARU and federation?
I think federation side was the clubs that they could play. They played against the so-called white clubs. Also, then SARU side was obviously, you remember, it was in the apartheid era. They never played against white clubs. They didn't believe in that. And for me as a youngster, I grew up in that era where I met some of the best Saru players, like your Peter Eusters and those guys, Alistair Coetzee. I can go on and on.
So Saru guys didn't play against black players. I mean, didn't play against white people at all.
No.
And Federation did.
Yeah, they did. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So as a kid, to me, politics didn't mean results. I just wanted to run onto the pitch.
Yeah.
Whether you were black, white, yellow, or green, I just wanted to run on the pitch and play and showcase your talent. Yeah. So I think it was a bit deeper as you grew up. I mean, my father and Norman Mbiko played against one another. You know, I mean, and if you sit with Norman Mbiko and he tells you the stories how it was, you get goosebumps. How it was in the day. It just shows you as a youngster, and I think if only our juniors from today can follow that track, follow your senior club wherever they go, your senior players, and then that's your heroes. Yeah.
Taariq, if you look back at the Federation days, the Saru days, what jumps out for you? Especially in terms of this whole apartheid thing, and we think about Nelson Mandela and the legacy that is left. But if you just go back to the rugby space now, Federation, Saru, what is the differentiation for you?
JP, to be honest with you, is just before my time. I started playing club rugby mid-90s. But you know, hearing stories, Greenpoint track, great games, big clubs playing there. We hear about the Violets and the Callies and the Ahmadiyas and those guys. But to go technically into that is just before my time.
And Ricky, if we look at the clubs then that played Saru or Federation, how do you split them up?
Well, I would say there was good clubs back then that definitely could have compete against one another. That's for sure.
For example?
Well, Tygerberg, for one, was a brilliant club. They had brilliant players. Even the old Belleville Saru club had brilliant players as well.
Was Tygerberg playing in the Federation or Saru?
No, Saru.
So they were playing in the Saru.
Yes,
right.
That's correct, yes.
Of course, that's Peter Eustace's club, so he was playing in the Saru space.
Yes, that's
now,
correct.
Nadir Isaacs
Violets.
was playing for Violets.
Yeah, I can remember when I was I had the privilege to play against guys like Nadir and Dale Santon. And believe me, you didn't want to play against guys like that. But it was good. They were tough. They were hard, and I can remember when unification started, you can correct me, Taariq, 1992, and then clubs started playing against Federation and Saru clubs started playing friendlies against one another to integrate, you know, to start starting to bond in that sense. And I can remember I played for Strand back in the days, and Dale Santon was the hooker. And that all cleaned out everybody in front of him. Yeah, but that also made you a man, if I can tell it that way, you know. So that was good.
So you played for Strand?
I played for Strand as well. I mean,
back in those days, aren't those the days of the Kirsten brothers?
No. Strand. We talk about Strand League back in the days, and then they became Strand. We talking about the Shields, Johannes Shields, and those people, and Nathaniel Jacobs. Good players like Quentin Daniels, those guys coming from the Strand, that side. I can go on and on. Turkey Shields.
All names that you remember.
All names that I remember as a youngster, and you grew up in front of those.
Now,
those guys.
whose mother is it that used to run on the side of the field that you guys were telling me about on Saturday?
I think Nadir knows whose mother that was.
Nadir, I think Nadir was saying that one of the two of you would be running down the side of the field with a ball trying to score a try, but you still couldn't outrun the mom that was running next to you.
I think it was my mother, JP. It was under 19 when I played for Belleville, and I think that game I remember very, very clearly. And Shamil Ismail, Taariq would know him very well. He played for us under 19.
Yeah.
Remember, I played for Macassar, and then I played club rugby for Belleville.
Yeah.
And I can proudly say that year Belleville's under 19 team was unbeatable. And Neville Heilbron was still the referee back then.
Yeah.
And I can remember when we pitched up at Belleville RTS, at Belleville Wood School. And if you hear that, it's the big boys,
Yeah.
Now we're pitching up there, and the guys are asking the referee, when is the under 19s coming? Then the referee said, but those are the under 19s.
And these were big guys.
And these were big guys.
Big
yes.
Afrikaans guys.
Big Afrikaans guys. And when they kicked off, JP, they were standing behind the pole the whole day.
Really?
Yeah, the way the ball, and as I ran down the...
Because you were just running away
as Shamil, as I possible to Shamil, running around next to the line, going to score, My mother was running faster than him, cheering and going on.
I can relate. I can relate to that, but from a more more from a judo environment where there's a mom on the side of the mat.
That's how passionate they were.
Yeah. I tell you something. My sporting space was in a different space. You guys were on the field. I was on a mat, and there were moms going heel wat crazy on the side there. Trek sy hare, byt hom.
And using the M word.
Yeah. No, I mean there were more than once or twice that the moms had to be said, you're out. You're out of here. All right, folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back, we'll start talking a little bit about the other tournaments and challenges that are happening next year, and of course the Stormers season. We did touch on it last week, but we didn't really get into it. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back after the break. We'll see you now. Welcome back, folks. Cab Rugby TV, 9 o'clock, as you heard there, every Wednesday night. Next week, we'll be doing our sort of Christmassy show, and we'll have Peter Jooste, Danny Jones, and hopefully Rob Wagner will join us on the show as well. I know the guys are starting to wrap up for the year, and we'll have to see what happens on Christmas night. I know everybody else will be singing carols and lighting candles and things like that, and we'll talk Christmas rugby. But it's one of those days, of course, where I'm all by myself. Taariq, what are you doing on Christmas night?
With the family.
Do you do Christmas?
We do Christmas. Why not? Christmas trees up, kids are opening presents.
I'm not really sure who all does Christmas anymore. Ricky, you do Christmas, huh?
Yeah, definitely, but I like the peaceful ones.
You like the peaceful ones?
You just said now you're doing Christmas rugby. It never stops, eh?
It never stops.
It never stops.
But not everyone does Christmas. There's of course different religions, and some people just celebrate the festive season. So just for the sake of the night, it'll be a kind of a Christmassy show, but a sort of a celebration also of the year and what we've done in the year. Because I think we've had a fantastic year. I think we've done well in the Curry Cup. We've done well in the Super 15. Our clubs have done fantastic. We've really had a good year.
I think we had an awesome year, if I can use that word. I mean, more highs than lows.
Yeah.
If you would agree with me, more highs than lows.
Yeah. I mean, Taariq, you guys had a great year, winning the league, but more than just winning the league. I mean, it was the progression, the sponsorships, everything coming together.
Yeah, everything's coming together, and we're gauging ourselves from last season, so we took a big step up. But now we've set the bar high for next season.
Where were you 2 years ago? What were you saying 2 years ago?
2 years ago I was at Salorians. That's a club I played for before Pioneers. But I was at the end of my playing career, and I knew I wanted to start, doing something administratively, and that's why I made the move to Pioneers.
Tell us a little bit. I mean, at the one stage, Strand Pioneers, you were about to close down. You were going, saying that's it.
Yeah, the end of 2011, Strand Pioneers got relegated. They were struggling to field teams. You must remember, in the Strand area, Strand Pioneers is competing with Strand United, which we share the same field. Kilometre down the road is St. George's and Strand. So you've got 4 clubs competing for the same players, same senior players, the same youngsters coming out of the schools in the area. And somehow Pioneers were struggling to get the players to the club. Myself and the rest of the newly elected management at the time, we got together and we decided we need to do stuff differently. If we had our presentation in October, we're going to have it in December. If we're practicing on a Monday and a Tuesday, we're going to practice on a Tuesday and a Thursday. We did everything different, and it worked for us. If I look back now, those small decisions we made then has paid off.
So you were a hair's breadth away from saying we're going to close this club down, and you came and you turned it around. So 2 years later, you win the league. I mean, that's an exceptional. I'll let Ricky say it. Then you're not going to say it. Exceptional performance.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I commend this man sitting my right here. Honestly, he did a great job at Strand Pioneers. I mean, there's times when things really went tough, and by that time you actually want to throw the towel in. Yeah. But he kept on going, and not just because I know him, but I know he's a hard worker, honestly. And not just Strand Pioneers, any club. And I want to mention out there, any club that has Taariq van der Ros on their side are privileged.
Yeah, no, we've done a number of these social media sponsorship lectures, and 5 years ago already, I think Taariq was there. So let's take a look at the fixtures for the Super 15 next year. There you see it on the screen right now. Of course, the Lions and the Cheetahs, they kick off the first match. Then it's the Lions and the Stormers away game. So that's the first game for the Stormers. The Stormers against the Lions. Then back home, it is the Stormers up against the Hurricanes. And then the Stormers go away on their away leg to play against the Crusaders, the Chiefs, the Brumbies and the Reds. And then they're back home against the Warriors and the Lions starting around the April space. And then a few matches at home after that. Ricky, in your opinion, it's an away game. They'll open with an away game in Ellis Park against the Lions. The Lions will be looking to get back into the Super 15. So not going to be an easy opening game.
Definitely. It's a home game for the Lions, and I would say it's a revenge game for them as well. Any Super 15 team would like to kick their campaign off with a win, obviously, or at least getting a bonus point out of that game. And we all know that how important a bonus point can be at Super 15 or at any level of rugby. And I think the Lions definitely got a point to prove.
And then once they're done with that game, the Stormers come straight back home. They play one game at Newlands and then away. I mean, it's a very disruptive opening season. One away game, one home game, and then 4 away games overseas. This is very difficult.
Disruptive, yes, JP. But if there's one team that does well when they travel away, then it's the Stormers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They've got the heart, they've got the guts. I know they can do well over there. That's for sure. You must remember, the tougher the opponents are on the away games, the better the Stormers does.
So, I mean, if we look at this, maybe considering what you said there, because then what it allows for the Stormers to, if they win that first game against the Lions, which is an away game, which they should, then they're back home against the Hurricanes at Newlands. Now the Hurricanes, they had an up and down season last year, or at least this year. We should be able to take that one, and then it's a question of if we can do well against the Crusaders and the Chiefs and the Brumbies and the Reds, which are going to be 4 extremely tough matches. But if we can get a couple of bonus points there, then we're back home, and you can sort of cement your season for the rest of the way.
Exactly. I mean, we're looking at if we take 4 points, hypothetically speaking, against the Lions, JP, we come back home to playing the Hurricanes, we take 5 out of that one, we go overseas, we take 2 out of that 4.
Yeah.
We're definitely on the right track.
So we're on the right track there.
We're on the right track.
Yeah. By the way, folks, let me just reach back here. In case you haven't seen it, this is the Stormers new jersey for 2014. You'll see it looks slightly different. The waves are a little bit wavy. It still brings in the Western Province elements. So that's the new jersey. Not that much change, but you'll see the new Stormers jersey there. And then the away game jersey, in case you don't know it, is going to look basically like that little logo there. That's going to be what the away jersey looks like. Next week we hope to show you an away game jersey. All right, enough of the podcast. Taariq, thanks for joining us on Cape Rugby TV. We look forward to seeing you guys. I mean, you're back in the park in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, we're back in the park 3 weeks' time. But thanks, JP. Thanks for having us here.
It was lekker, yeah. Nice to have you on the show. Long time overdue.
Yeah.
And Ricky, Stream 7 starts when?
Well, first focusing on the George 7th, 11th and 12th of January.
Yep.
Spoke to Marius.
Of course, they had to postpone it.
Yes, because of Nelson's funeral, which we all understood, obviously.
Yeah.
And spoke to Marius Kuman a couple of days ago, and I believe that Fiji and Kenya may also enter in that in the George 7th, in the Premier League 7th, which is exciting. Yeah.
So you got the George 7s first. And then in Helderberg, you've got the Extreme 7s.
Extreme 7s, we've got the Strand Pioneer 7s.
Strand Pioneer's got a 7s tournament as well?
Strand Pioneer 7s, 25th of Jan.
25th of Jan?
Yeah, known as the Spa 7s.
We're going to have our hands full.
Definitely,
Looks
definitely.
Like Community Cup and Varsity Cup's going out the window. We've got 7s all year to start with.
Definitely, yeah. So what an exciting season. I can't wait for it to start.
Oh, can you believe it? We're going to be so active. We're going to be so busy. So, no, great stuff, guys. Well done and nice to have you on the show. Okay, folks, that's a wrap from us. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. And next week we'll be celebrating the festive season. And we'll take a look back at some of the moments within Western Province during the 2013 season. Some of the highs, some of the lows, and some talk about what will come up during 2014. That's a wrap from us. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.